Hi. So we will discuss about the event binding. Earlier we discussed about the style binding, class binding, property binding, and attribute binding. And each binding you see in the data is flow from a components to HTML elements. But think of it like you have a scenario when you want to flow the data from HTML elements to components, and then how you will do that. So for that scenario, the event binding comes into the picture in Angular. Okay, whenever you wants to the call the method of the components from a HTML, like there is a button. Okay, there is a click button. There is a button, and on click of that buttons you wants to call a method of a components. Then use the click event is there. Okay, I'll show you first. Let's discuss about the events, what it is. The events, think about like when a user interact with an application in the form of the keyboard movements and the button click, mouse over and select from a drop down list. And if also the user the type something in a text box and etc. So everything is generates the events. All these events needs to be handled to perform some kind of actions. And this is where the event winding actually comes into the pictures now, as I already told you. Then in Angular applications, so we can use the event mining to get notified when these events occurs. Okay, let me show you with examples. Okay, let's create a button. We will use here a click event. Okay, we call a method of this component. So we're creating this click me button. Okay, like but this on click method is not there any component, that's why it's throwing an error. Console dot log. Okay, like click me. So whenever you will click on this button, okay, then the output in a console will like this, the click me. Okay, let me show you. You can see here this is a button, click me. Let me open the developer tools, just press F12. You can see this is a developer tool. Okay, you can clear this console by clicking on here. Let me click on this button. Once you clicked on this button, you can see the output in a console, click me. Okay, let me click on this again. 2 3 4 4 5 6 times is there. So every time it's print. Okay, let me tell you one more examples here. We will create one table and we'll show and hide the row, okay, dynamically, and we will also the bind the property using interpolation. Let me define some methods here. Okay, like first is call span. Call span is a number. Let's take a 2. Okay, let me also create few more properties here. First name, suppose it's Ankit, and the last name Singh. Let me take 2 more properties just to show dynamically the roles. The age, basically it's a number. Okay, and then let's take one more variable is gender, which is if I'm not declaring here now any type of this variable, the type of this variables is any. Okay, by default is any, so you can assign anything. Okay, let me make it specific, generic. So just it says string. Okay, let me type here, let's use the male. Okay, and let's create one table here. This table first we will create a header of this table. Let's create a row mth will be like show details. Okay, because we have a one headers. Okay, in row we have a one th. Okay, so let's use the property call span. Okay, now sorry, what is that? Now create a body of this table. This first name and last name. Oh shit. To find the value of this first name property, which is defined in a components. Let me create one more row for last name. Okay, now we will add the row dynamically. We will use ng if structural directive. We'll discuss in depth of structural directive later. So details. Actually, this variable we have to create here, and the type of this variable is boolean. Let me assign a value is false initially. It's age, just bind age using interpolation. Okay, what is another property is gender. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, let me create a button. This I would say it's just like the dynamic the name of these buttons we will create. Details, before details we will add the show and height text. If the show details property is true, okay, in that case we will add height. If it's false, then we will add true. Oh sorry, so let me create one method just to make the change this value. Let's create one toggle details. Okay, to access the properties of components we have to use this keyword. It's kind of the current object. Let's use a not operator and then use this dot show details. If the value of this show details is true, then it will become false value, then we'll assign to this variables. If it's false, then the true value will assign. Let's call this function. We'll see. Here you can see initially the two rows of table you can see only. Okay, let me click on this show details button. You can see two more rows added. Okay, whenever you will click on this hide details, then the two rows will disappear. Yeah, see, it's working. So this is event binding, and that's it from my side. And thank you for listening. If you like my video, please don't forget to subscribe and like my video and share. Thank you.